Hey guys, it's Celine. Hi there. It's the 3rd of January. Happy New Year from the location where I'm at. It's this old disused church building with where I'm going is the churchyard, the graveyard behind it. Not for any particular reason for myself, basically because it's really quiet and easier to you know, chat a bit and check up and check in. Ooh, grinding noises, clanging noises from the portal entrance gateway thing over here. So, I started a blog. Lord help me. This is what the churchyard looks like. Lots of open green space like that, and a pathway that I'll be following to the back. This is actually where I first collected some graveyard dirt, so soil from behind over there next to that tree. That's where I got some graveyard dirt first time to do some energy vibration experimenting with at the time. So that was like half a year ago or so, maybe in early summer. So that's why I'm here also, because it's nice and quiet. I don't think there's anybody around at the moment. There'll be occasional little traffic noises. I've actually got some blossom for you guys. This is crazy. We had such a ridiculously warm Christmas and the week after weather. It was insane. It was like 13, 14, 15 degrees centigrade, Celsius that is. And here's the blossom. Let me see whether I can you see that? It's all actually opening up like that. Isn't that pretty? Gosh, I actually even like that. Like what it looks like on the screen, to the extent that I can see any of it. Here's another nice branch full of beautiful, where did you go? Like that, full of little pink fluffies. Sakura cherry blossom or something. Probably not, probably plum of some type. Prunus is what they call them here. And they're all over in gardens and stuff, but normally the stuff blooms like March or something. So this is really ridiculous. So yeah, so I thought I would just do my little New Year's greeting on my channel from here instead. I was behind the computer for an hour or so trying to figure out this whole WordPress operating system. It's different. I guess I've used similar types of programs for doing a web shop for somebody once. I can sort of see the levels where you have to work at for it, but it's very primitive. So please bear with. I'm hoping that I will figure it out, within, I don't know, a month or so. I'm going to give myself a month's time to get the hang of this. And also I saw these brown things from a distance. Somebody dropped huge onions on here in a churchyard. There's a couple of onions all over the place. Why are there onions in my graveyard? I've no idea. So, just generally traipsing around here. Blogging is different. It's really striking, and I suppose it's a matter of practice, basically. I can type, I can write also. Writing text is very different from pronouncing it into the camera. I found that really easy to do so far, to just, chat on ahead and never care what really it's not that I care a lot about my channel, my YouTube channel, but it's not like I have strict approaches or rules for anything, you know. I just enjoy it to talk about the things that I'm working on and whatever that may be. But recently I've really been investigating or thinking about how to best share more of my YouTube intel, or my Tumo intel I should say. My, you know, there's loads of development all the time, different levels of activations going on. I'm actually putting it all in book form as well, where I've got I'm going to sit here for a bit. This is just some family's monument here. I've got a handmade, like a very boho kind of a big, huge book that I stick drawings into, that I've done a lot of work on also recently. Well, not like the idea is to work on it every week at least once, more or less. But I don't really do timing or anything. It's just as it comes, as it goes, as it happens. So I'm really enjoying working on the book. It's all handwritten, hand painted and hand everything, you know. So that's really enjoyable. It's so fantastic for the artist side of you to just have a place where you can put all that in there, and it's just very consistent. And I made it so that I could have my Tumo vibrational information and the processes and the chakras and the dantyans and all the rest of that, as well as the psychological stuff and the therapeutic stuff and what it's doing for my inner child, or what it has done in terms of personal growth, or how I look at things differently now, how much more perspective I have, what the kinds of perspectives are that I get from doing this work, and so on and so forth. So I've got lots of room. I've got some room for nature stuff, or things like graveyard dirt, for example. I've got some stuff that I want to still put in around mushrooms, more around nature, wild nature, in particular, where mushrooms are a part of that. Also, I need to put in a part, or somewhere in there, there's, it's got to be space for menopause related experiences, especially as Tumo changes that for me, because that's happened. That's definitely happened. That's been awesome. That has also recently been the most direct benefit, I would say, from this Tumo approach that I've used and that I've concocted for myself, and that I keep, figuring out as I go along here. So I'm really wondering very much what to do with my, there's an airplane going over the top of us. Can you see him? There he goes. Yes. What to do with the blog in question, I still don't know. I started it up, which is already something. I put in colors and text and a couple of images, and that's how far I got today. And we will see where we go from here, right? And it's a kind of an adventure, and it feels really good to be doing something to bring my story out there in a different format again. You have to look for different, I don't know, it really is very different to have text as opposed to this stuff. And as much as I love my my vlogging approach, and especially when I'm like this, when I'm outside, I'm gonna sit here on this little bench like so for a tiny bit longer. I can show you the big church which I'm facing like that, and it's quite a pity that it's not in use anymore. Also, I regret rather that there isn't really a Mary Chapel or Mother of God Chapel there anymore. We don't have any of those in this town, in this little village here. My highlight of the Christmas holiday was going to visit, and I nearly vlogged, except that I didn't in the end. Over there, I visited with my husband. We actually got inspired by Kellyanne Maddox, who did a Marian pilgrimage for herself in somewhere in halfway in December, and she posted that on her channel. It's an awesome video, lengthy one as well, but she really inspired me to go and do some sort of a spiritual reconnecting over there at this. So this is a smaller, even smaller village than this one, and it sits about 20 kilometers or so east of here. And there's a very old statuette of the mother and child there, and it's quite interesting surroundings. Maybe if I get a chance, I'll go back and film there at some point. Maybe at some time when there's less people, better weather, I can even, I think, take a bus to go there. So that'd be cool, right? So maybe I'll actually go and do that soon-ish. So because I found it really inspiring, especially as one of the last things I talked to you about was my whole adventure with my assemblage point. Remember that? Yeah. Well, it turns out it has been a very big influence in how I feel, how things come to me. It's really hard to explain, except I suppose I feel more of a whole person, definitely, which is what it was about, really. So I was combining Tummo practice, Tummo energy practice, Shakti energy work, as in Tummo with the Dantians and all that, into a sort of a knowledge or sense that there is such a thing as an assemblage point for your heart, and that if you direct your Tummo specifically to pay attention to that, it is like the Tummo energy watches what you are watching. That I find out, that's actually my most recent conclusion of this whole adventure these days, is that each time I focus on something, and sometimes it takes a bit of focusing, it takes a while, that's what I get. The Tummo looks where I'm looking. So if I say to it assemblage point organization, and I feel for what that means in here, you get to connect with all these parts of it. Is trauma healing of the best possible kind. It's stunning, it really is. And so it also kind of hurts physically, even you can physically feel it as things get reorganized, and that's still kind of going on, but not the same all the time. It certainly isn't painful all the time, not at all. I feel really good and energized and hopeful for the new year and all that kind of stuff. So I am hoping quickly, that we will all end this whole lockdown and coronavirus drama, because everybody's completely up to here with that. But then again, we have been over to here with that for a year. So who's to say what's really going to happen? I think I will sign off here, because so far I actually managed to make some sense. The Marian pilgrimage was a success, where I felt like it actually helped me, because I visited that same spot when we used to live closer to that town, to that little village, and I used to even have a yoga class there in close to that for a while, a year or so. It's ages ago, but it's a place I knew really well, and it's quite the closest thing I have to a home Marian pilgrimage location as I can get, other than things in France or whatever, where I certainly can't go now, and also haven't gone visited often enough. You know, I've been to Chartres one time. There's a couple of other big churches or small chapels or shrines or whatever that I've visited on and off during the years. Also in the south of France where I used to live back then, and so on and so forth. But a lot of that is so old, and it's been so long, and at the time it was only a few times, and I was still a kid back then. So this one, the one we went to now, I think it was Thursday that we went, so the day before New Year's Eve, the 30th. And it was really nice to be able to just sort of show this mother goddess figure, which is how I perceive her, you know, show her where what I've been working on and what my situation was. I could feel something happening in here, so that was pretty awesome. I loved it. And I must remember that this was actually something that made a difference for me again, you know, another element in a long chain, a long rosary, if you like, of influences and aspects and approaches and connections. So lots of good times there. I'm going to sign off. Thank you for watching. Thank you for checking in with me. I hope we're going to have an interesting year. What about that? And with sunshine, you know, sunshine eventually. It's been really good, grey and cloudy. We'll see what we get. Okay. Be well. I hope you're well. I wish you all the best for the new year, and health and wisdom and whatever, and fun also, and adventure if possible. Okay. And I'll be seeing you again soon. Okay. Ciao for now. Thank you for watching.